What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how I edit my photos on Lightroom. A lot of you have asked for this video, and so here it is. Today I'm going to be showing you how I edit my travel photos on Lightroom. And I'm going to show you how I use my special preset. There's only actually just one preset that I really like. So if you're interested in seeing how I edit my photos on Lightroom, keep watching and let's roll the intro. So let's talk a little bit about the preset that I'm going to be showing you guys today, which is basically how I edit on Lightroom. I describe this preset as warm and contrasty, and it reminds me of summer, but it works throughout the entire year. It is the single most used preset in my arsenal, and I've used it in many different scenarios, and it's just been amazing. I love the colors, and it's my go-to preset for travel photos and for everything that is not a portrait. Speaking of the colors, it has really vivid colors, and I'll show you some photos here on the side, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And lastly, it's a very popular look right now, the teal and orange look. But I'd like to think that it's my kind of teal and orange look, because sometimes it's just too much. And of course, with Lightroom, you can dial down the colors as you want. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. Alrighty then, so you've downloaded the preset, now you want to install it. So I'm going to show you guys how to install it. So first of all, you want to open Lightroom. Here are the photos that we're going to be editing today, but let's not get into that first. So first thing you want to do is go into Preferences. And now that you're in Preferences, you want to go to Show Lightroom Presets folder. It's going to open up this Finder folder if you're on a Mac. Double click Lightroom, Develop Presets, and now you're going to see all the presets that you've installed here. So just copy paste the preset into that folder and you're good. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin with the editing. So the way I edit my photos in Lightroom, I use four main tricks aside from putting on the preset. Those include temperature, exposure, HSL drag, and clarity and contrast. So let's get into editing. So right here is the final product, and I've created a virtual copy of this and taken out all the edits so we can work on it together. So the first thing you want to do is hit D for develop, it's a shortcut, and then slap on Gabs preset 25. That's what I call it. It's called Gabs preset 25 because it's the 25th preset I've made, and I just name it by numbers and just kind of describe it if I want to. So you put Gabs preset 25 on it. And right now, it's not exactly looking like the final output. So the first thing we're going to do is adjust the temperature. So the first thing I do to adjust the temperature is to click this eyedropper over here, and then I put the eyedropper on something that I know is white. There you go. So just by doing that, just by adjusting the temperature, it's already looking really close to the final product. But if the eyedropper trick doesn't work for you guys and then you still don't really like the white balance on it, you could just drag the white balance either way to your liking. So our second step is to adjust the exposure. Now it's a little bright, so I want to tone down the exposure. So to do this, you could adjust the exposure levels over here, or you could just click on exposure and it'll allow you to adjust the exposure with the plus or minus keys. So let's decrease the exposure a little bit. Yeah, I think that's all right. So the next thing I want to do is that the highlights are looking kind of blown out, but the shadows are looking amazing. So let's bring down the highlights a little bit. So you can see a little bit of blue in the sky there, even if it's just really faint, it makes a big difference. And the next thing would be just to bring up the shadows a little. And yeah, I think I like that. Usually what I like to do is to bring up the shadows all the way because I kind of trust the cameras these days to have really good dynamic range and to save those shadows for the details that I want to bring out in post. And so this is my favorite trick in terms of colors. You guys know I love my colors, and so I call this the HSL drag. Basically, I changed the hue, saturation, and luminance, but instead of using the slider bars here, I like to do something which I think works better for me, which is the drag. So I hit Command Option Shift H for hue, Command Option Shift S for saturation, and Command Option Shift L for luminance. So here I want to change the hue of the browns here a little bit. You can just hit Command Option Shift H, and then you'll see that you have this pointer like this. And what you want to do with it is just click on the hue or the color that you want to adjust and click on it and it'll adjust it. Now that's looking nice. I want to bring that into the yellows more, less of the reds. And yeah, that looks a little nicer. And then next, I want to kind of desaturate the greens a little bit. So Command Option Shift S for saturation, and then I click on the green area here, and that kind of desaturates it a little bit, the yellows and in the greens. And then so the last step is to adjust the contrast and the clarity. So this preset, Gab's preset 25, is very high on the contrast and quite high on the clarity because I just like my travel photos to look like that. So that's why sometimes I adjust it depending on the photo. For this, I want to maybe just bump the clarity down a little bit and the contrast as well. Yeah, that's looking nice. And so yeah, that's basically how I'd edit a travel photo. In this case, a landscape. Well, it's in portrait, but it's a landscape. I want to show you guys how diverse this preset is. So let's try to apply it on another setting. So right here is a photo I took on top of Montparnasse in Paris. It's an amazing view, and one of the tips I have for using this preset is that you want to kind of shoot underexposed because you want to have those shadows, because this preset kind of bumps up those shadows and bumps up the exposure as well. And so shooting underexposed would be beneficial for using this preset. So again, so the first step, Gab's preset 25. And it's already looking amazing. But I feel like the blues over here on the buildings are a little bit much. They're a little bit on the teal side, which I know some people like, some people don't like. So you could adjust that using the HSL drag. So I'm gonna hit Command Option Shift H for hue, click on the blues, and just drag it up a little so it's less teal, more of a normal blue, and that's looking nice. Maybe I'll even just desaturate those blues a little just to make the buildings look a little bit more pearly white. So that's Command Option Shift S, and there, that's looking really nice. I shot this straight into the sun, so you can see that there's a little bit of a loss of contrast there. So I just want to pump up the contrast a little bit more so that you can see the Eiffel Tower nicely on that horizon. And so yeah, that's basically it. Maybe I could add gradient mask here just to save the skies a little bit. So what you want to do is click this gradient mask here and then decrease the exposure because I'm going to be putting that on the sky. And there, you just drag it over here. The middle line should be on the horizon, so you don't really add to this bottom part, but this top part gets affected more heavily. So there, kind of save the skies, and you can see a little bit of details in the clouds. That looks nice. And yeah, I think this photo's done. So you guys might be wondering that I've only shown you guys some landscapes with this preset, but I also like using it for street photography. So here is a photo that I took in Vienna. So this photo is one of my favorite photos, and it's really nice because I like it when people have umbrellas and they're walking in the rain. So yeah, let's edit this photo. So I slap on Gab's preset 25, and right now it's looking very, very yellow, orange. So what I do right now is use the white balance dropper trick. So I know that these buildings here are supposed to be white or close to white. These letters here were white for sure, so I'm gonna just click on that. And already it's looking slightly better, but not yet the best. So I wanna just tone down the temperature a little bit. Bring out a little bit more of those blues. That looks nice. So now the white balance is a little bit better. Now what I want to do is I want to fix the yellow of this car because I know it's yellow, not orange. So Command Option Shift H for hue. And I just drag it upwards to make it a little bit more yellow. And that's already looking quite nice. And then the teals are kind of strong in this one. So what I do is I just Command Option Shift H, so the HSL drag, and I'll bring it up a little bit so it's closer to a normal blue but still has that kind of teal. And you can see that affected the background as well. Yeah, it kind of fixed the overall too teal look. And I know some people don't really like the teal look, but I like to incorporate it ever so slightly. So yeah, that's looking pretty close to the final edit that I had. And yeah, that's how I edited it. I don't really want to touch the contrast anymore. I think it's looking quite nice already, so yeah. And for the last example in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I edited this photo. It's one of my favorites I took in Europe, and it just reminds me of summertime so much. So let's get right into it. So I just slap the preset on, and again, it's looking way too orange. So you want to just balance that out. I know that these pillars here are white, so there. And again, it's looking a little too teal. So I just want to adjust the tealness of that. And then I want to bring up the shadows a little bit so you can see the details in the people here. Maybe bring up the temperature on the warmer side a little bit more just to emphasize that really nice summertime feel. And maybe the highlights, just you can see that there's a little bit of detail in the clouds. The D750 did an amazing job in keeping those details, so let's bring back those details. There you go. You can see the sky slightly more blue. And so yeah, that's how I'd edit this photo with this preset, and I just really love this photo. So yeah, that's about it for how I edit on Lightroom. That's basically my workflow and just the really quick and easy way I edit on Lightroom. So yeah, if you want to try out these edits, I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Just mention me or tag me and yeah, I'll check it out. I'd love to see this preset work with your photos. And I may have a lot of other presets, aka like the 24 that came before this, but this preset is the one I really stand by and I can really vouch for. That's been the most useful and the most versatile preset that I've ever made, so that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. I don't know if it's actually that short, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. So if you like this video, leave a like and a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments and I'll try my best to get back to everyone. Let me know if you like this format of video and maybe we'll do more in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time.